Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, July 7th. So we have the moon in Libra all day. Once again, we are very focused on balance, on peace, on harmony, especially in our inner realms and in our personal relationships. The moon will be going void, of course, around 9:04 p.m. and will be moving into Scorpio energy 1:15 a.m. Friday morning. So, of course, we have a lot of pressure building when we move into the moon in Scorpio. Again, a little bit of a reminder of what that eclipse energy was all about on the true nodes of the moon, both Taurus and Scorpio axis. So we do have a little bit of pressure building to that. Of course, we're still kind of in the realm of the Sirius gateway portal and still kind of reeling and adapting from all of the massive energy on the 5th and the first quarter moon that we just had here yesterday. So there are 8 different aspects. 7 of them involve the moon. The moon is going to be opposing, sitting across from Chiron, the wounded healer. Now, this is definitely going to illuminate for us where it is that we are lacking balance, lacking peace, lacking harmony, lacking support and stability in our emotions, likely connected to a personal relationship. This Chiron energy, being the wounded healer, of course, gives us the wisdom, the resources to heal said wounds, but we got to feel them in order to heal them. The moon will trine Venus. This is going to be a beautiful blending, harmonizing energy, especially seeing as Venus rules over the Libran energy. Venus is in Gemini, still very curious about opening up to new ways of doing things, new ways of seeing the worth and value within oneself, new ways of communicating and expressing said worth and boundaries. And of course, we want to kind of explore our options, especially with new relationship dynamics, new energy exchanges as well. So the moon in Libra trining with Venus in Gemini in this way is really going to give us some very good stabilizing clarity on what it is that we want, need, and desire, especially where our emotions are concerned, where it is that our relationships are concerned, and of course, what it is that we need to do in said relationships in order to protect ourselves. The moon is going to make a very interesting aspect with Uranus and then with the true node. So the way that this aspect is kind of unfolding, it is likely going to be manifesting from an external trigger, an external activation. And what I will say is that we're likely going to see a disruption in our plans. We are likely going to maybe receive some information that just totally takes us off guard. This Uranian energy is the great awakener, but it also, in this particular aspect, is bringing a little bit of chaos before we gain said clarity. Now, this Uranian energy wants to show us where it is that we need a little bit more freedom, where we need to be a little bit more liberated and independent, especially in our relationships. And what I will say is that the outside trigger, the activation that is totally going to throw a wrench into what it is that we thought we wanted and needed, is going to disrupt us in a way that obviously will not feel pleasant, but is very needed because it opens up our mind to a different path, to a different need, to a different desire. And again, when Uranus creates chaos, he's setting us up for a huge amount of clarity. To have the moon bump into the true node shortly after in the same kind of aspect is adding another layer to the disruption, to the, wrench being thrown in our plans, to the chaos, to the buildup, if you will, to the clarity. This could also be the breakdown before the breakthrough. And the true node is trying to get us on the right path of our soul's mission, our soul's purpose. Many of us confused on what that looks like and who is coming with us, right? Moon in Libra, very focused on relationships. So whatever situation is popping off, again, will not be nice, will not be fun, will not be favorable. However, is going to lead us to some very serious clarity, some aha moments, even if it's recognizing what it is that we don't want, who it is that we don't want to go into the future with, who it is that we have to work a little bit harder on stabilizing the energetic exchange in our relationship. All very good key factors that come from an uncomfortable situation. So the moon goes ahead and trines Saturn, the Lord of Karma, who is retrograde in Aquarius energy. This is going to bring us down a peg. It is going to provide us with a clear head, a clear mind. We are grounded. We are thinking logical. We are thinking practical when it comes to the roles and responsibilities in our life, especially where the relationship dynamics are concerned. This is going to give us an opportunity to see the long-term path, the long-term plan. And again, from that Aquarian energy, visionary energy, we take that big picture and we chop it up into manageable pieces that we're actually able to complete, that we're actually able to conquer. And in doing so, we're doing this back and forth and having Saturn really kind of give us the maturity, the wisdom that we need in order to see life as it is and not for the way that we desire it to be at the moment is going to provide us with an actual, steady, clear picture plan on what it is that we need to do to get from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be. The moon will bump into Neptune shortly after, though. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. Neptune being in retrograde means that the rose-colored glasses are essentially slapped off of our face. We have to really kind of tackle life as it is, and again, not for the way that we wish it would be. We have to stop romanticizing, stop losing ourselves in imaginary land, stop, sweeping things under the rug. We have to stop running from things, stop hiding, stop escaping, stop evading, and deal with the actual fact of the matter in the here and now, so that we can have the space, we can have the resources, we can have the clean slate that we need to have to start building this vision of the future in the here and now. But there's a lot of residuals that we really have to address in the here and now that many of us would rather bury our head in the sand and just not deal with. So the moon in Libra, especially with Neptune in this way, yes, we can feel overwhelmed, over-emotional, hypersensitive, super stimulated. Yes, we're going to want to run and hide, especially from some relationship dynamics that are popping off. But it is up to us to realize that we are being gifted an opportunity here to grow either together or grow apart. And what I mean by that is sometimes we need conflict and confrontation to hash it all out and to find that next level of connection and intimacy where we're growing together in that right direction. Or sometimes we need that ugliness. We need things to pop off in order for the truth to come out, for us to understand where everybody actually stands, in order to see the distance in between the two and realize where it is that we're growing apart. Does it feel good? No. Is it absolutely necessary? Yes. Is it going to lead to clarity? You bet your bottom dollar it is. We have the moon squaring off with Pluto. Here's where insecurities creep in, especially in the relationship dynamic, especially when things pop off and maybe they don't go our way. Pluto, of course, is the great transformer, doing a little bit of a deep dive into the shadow part of self, where it is we've given power away, where it is that we feel powerless, especially in our relationships, especially in our life, where it is that we desire more control, more authority, if you will. But this particular aspect can kind of highlight not only the insecurities, but it could mean that we are sitting in paranoia. Maybe we are super fearful. Maybe we are suspect, thinking that our partners or friends or whatever the case may be is betraying us in a way, or lying about us, or deceiving us, or just doing something that they shouldn't be doing. Paranoia is at an all-time high. And this could be from a particular person or a situation. it feels like there's, something going on that we can't quite put our finger on. And this could lead into a spiral as far as our mental plane and emotion goes, but it can also kind of put us in a position where we're not willing to be as open and as trustful as we would like when we're supposed to be having these hearts to hearts to clear the air. We may not believe the words coming out of people's mouths. We may think that they are covering something up. And we just want to be aware that this energy is highly palpable, because we could be setting ourselves up for disaster. We could be creating drama where there is none. We could be making something out of nothing. We are actually in a situation where we could be creating more confusion than there actually needs to be, just because our insecurities are rising to the surface. Maybe it has nothing to do with the other person. Maybe they're acting straight up as normal. Maybe it is us that is feeling insecure, us feeling unstable, us that has a suspicion about something that doesn't even exist. So we want to be mindful that this situation could manifest in this way so that we don't add fuel to the fire. We have Venus interacting with Uranus. This is the last aspect of the day, 10:27 p.m. At this particular point in time, the moon is void, right? We had the moon square Pluto. That was the last aspect before the moon goes void. When the moon goes void, it is always a little bit unstable and uncertain. We should never make decisions, never commit. We should never think that whatever it is that we're thinking and feeling is going to last very long when the moon is void, of course. And Venus interacting with Uranus while the moon is void is really kind of adding to the chaos, the uncertainty, the questioning of our own worth, of our own, I'm going to say, and because we're talking about relationships here, because insecurities are coming up, because we do have the ability to lose ourselves in a spiral, thinking all those dark thoughts, we may be questioning whether or not we're worthy, whether or not we're lovable, whether or not we're desired. And that is a hard thing to do, because what we all need to realize within ourselves is that we can't look to other people for us to feel that way. Meaning, of course we're lovable. Of course we're desirable. Of course we're worthy. Now, if other people outside of ourselves make us feel as if we weren't, that is very much a them problem. It is not a you problem, right? We have to understand that a lot of the time the shadow part creeps up in us because we're looking too much outside of ourselves for that validation. Of course, it feels good to be wanted and desired and loved by other people, but we can't depend on other people for us to feel those feelings within ourselves. So we do have to just be aware that the end of the day is kind of setting us up for a spiral. We have to understand that moving into the moon being in Scorpio is always shadow work, always very heavy, always very weighted, but it's also very transformative. So what we have to kind of understand is that heading into the latter part of today, we are kind of, again, being set up for a breakdown so that we can have the super powerful breakthrough. And what we're breaking through on is our worth, is our value, is filling the voids within ourselves without looking outside of ourselves for other people to do it. And it may come from a lot of chaos, it may come from a lot of insecurity, a lot of questioning, but that is absolutely necessary in order for us to find stable ground.